Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and as you can see, I'm working on something a little different. There's no page protector in sight. This is a brochure that I want to include in my Dublin album, so it's a 6x8 pocket page album, but I want this to live outside the pocket. So as I have done with other brochures and maps, memorabilia stuff, I'm going to include this with tabs so that it can freely flip in the album, but it will still be able to be opened. I don't really need anything that's on this back cover, so my choice is to put the tabs like this, cover this up, and then also include photos on top. And it serves dual purpose. It gets this in the album, but it also lets me use all the available space that I have, because then I'm not doing an extra layout for these photos, they'll just be on here. So for now, I have all of this ready, but I don't have my background paper, so I need to get that and figure out what will look good just peeking out from the back of these. These are pretty big, and I may cut them down a little more because as you can see, there's not a whole lot of space left. I may be okay with that depending on the background paper I find, but I need to look to see what I have that will match. So when I went to grab my 6x8 papers that are already cut, that came that way, to look through what might work, I thought I better just measure this. It's a good thing I did because it turns out this is slightly larger than 8 inches tall, so I am going to have to cut it down. Normally I could leave it like that, it would have fit in the book fine, but it's because I want this paper to fit that I have to do it. So I looked at it, I won't lose anything along this bottom edge. If I cut it, this will be covered up anyway, so it won't matter. So that's my choice. I will just trim it down on this edge to get it to 8 inches, and then we'll be good to go. All right, I just did the trimming, and you can see it did get pretty close right here, but otherwise it's fine. I didn't really lose anything at all. So now I can start figuring out which paper is going to work for the back. I think I have decided on this paper. A lot of these have really bold patterns, and I did have this one which actually has crosses on it, but I don't like the color with this or the pattern. It's way too busy, so I decided not to go with that. I do like this one because it has this blue in the upper corner which works with the sky, so I think I'm going to cut it so that that shows a little bit more. And maybe I need to put that down at the bottom so that it offsets that. That might be the better way to go. I think that does look better. So at least now I have that decided. I can trim this down, get it to fit the width of the brochure, and I'm on my way. All right, I have cut down my paper. I've taken the string out of my tabs, so those are ready to go. And then I pulled out a page protector just so that I can align where the tabs need to be, because they have to line up with those holes. So really all I'm doing is I'm taking the tag, I just line it up to make sure it's going to match so it'll fit when it turns. Stuff is slippery. You get the idea though. And so I just do that, and then I adhere the tab, then this will go on top. So if you've never done this, it's a pretty easy process to do it like this. There are some other alternatives as well. Citrus Twist now makes some adhesive strips where you can just put those on there and attach the brochure to it, and it's clear, and then it turns outside, which is awesome. And I do have those, but since I have already started this album and my Wales album using these tabs, I want it to be consistent, so I'm just going to continue to use those the rest of the way through. I have my tabs adhered, they are all aligned and ready to go, so now I can do my background paper here. So then all I'm doing is going edge to edge, which is pretty easy to match up. Make sure I get my edges correct there. Whoop, that's a little off at the top, I see. I can get my corner up there. Oh, it's stuck pretty well on the left side. Scooch over a little bit. There we go. There, that's better. So now that's ready to go, and then I can still open the brochure as I want to. Because I had to trim a little bit off of the brochure, I did also have to trim the photos a little bit. I chose to just do the very top of this one to bring the size down a little bit, and now they both fit. And I think I want them staggered a little bit just so that at the top that blue does show through. so that it works to bring that out of the lower photo. And then it leaves me room to embellish both here and here if I want to. I'm sure I will. I just have no idea what that is right now, what's going to match with all of this. It may just have to be something that's black or brown so that it's a neutral. I'm not sure, but I'll start pulling out all my stuff and see what I find. When I pulled out some of my stuff that I had for Dublin, I noticed that, I had these stickers in there, and I forgot that there was this one that just says Ireland, and it has this dark red sort of maroon brick color, and it matches pretty well with this brochure. I honestly don't know that I have anything else left to scrap that it would match. So I think I'm going to take that off and actually put it right here under this. It doesn't really take away from anything. This is more purple, so it doesn't really go there. So I think putting it on the front right there is the best option. All right, I have all of that adhered, and I've been looking through my stuff here, and I actually pulled out some of these pieces from Allie Edwards' travel release from 2020, and it had a card that had all these different phrases, and so you cut them all apart and you can use them. I mean, you could use them as one, but I cut them apart. And there was this little one in there. The color matches, and I like it because this was not the first time I had been there. I'd gone there before when I was in Ireland, and I would go back again too, just because Christchurch is so beautiful on the inside that it's worth seeing more than once. So I think I'm going to use that to get me started, and I think I'm just going to put it down here, and then it zigzags that blue, which I like. That still leaves me room to put something over here if I want. So if I want a visual triangle, I'd have something here, and over here, which is perfect with my spacing. So I think I'll start with that, and then I'm still on the hunt to find some other things. So I still wasn't finding a lot in there that either I liked or that matched. So I decided, well, maybe I should just go a little more generic. So I pulled out some of my cork embellishments, and then I had some wood veneer. Obviously October doesn't work because this was March, but I had these stuffed in there, and I like this one that just says today. It's generic enough that I can get away with it, and it's also just the neutral of the wood would work. I can get it out of the package here. There we go. And I think the sizing is pretty good if I decide to put it up here, because I don't really want to lose too much of the door because it's lovely. But if I just kind of put it up here, you can still see all of the scroll work there. And it kind of matches these tabs because they're a manila. So it would be like that. I think I am going to do that. Then I have words here, words here. Then I think whatever's over here should just be more of a regular embellishment, not a phrase. So again, I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm willing to investigate. Well, I haven't been able to find anything that I'm happy with, so I think what I've decided to do is that I am going to take some of these cork sheets, I'll pick one of them out, and I will just make my own embellishment. So I will stamp on it, and then I'll probably just punch it out, so it'll more than likely be circular, and I will just put it right up here in between these to make the visual triangle. And hopefully I have some kind of just travel image that will work with this. I have decided to use this stamp here. It does say gone exploring around the outside, so there is a phrase on it, but I like that the central point really is just, there's a circle and then there's the geotag. So I'm going to stamp this one. And by the way, I think this is from Studio Calico. It doesn't say, but if you like it, I'm pretty sure that's where it's from. So I'm just going to stamp this, and then I will punch it out and I'll be back. All right, I decided to go with this type of cork. It's sort of the mid-size style. And I've done my stamping right there. I used Stays on ink to make sure that it would press into this nicely. And now I have a 1 1/4 circle punch here that I'm just going to punch out the cork. And then I will have my own embellishment ready to go. I think that looks pretty centered. And there we go. All right, I have my glue on there, so this is ready to go. And one thing I will say about using your own cork embellishments like this is that you cannot use glue dots on here. It will tear it apart. So if you're going to do it, you need to have the glue. I think I'm just gonna do it right there. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And I like it because it's a little contrast to the door. They're both brown, but this is much lighter, and it kind of brings out this background color here that's sort of in the stripe there. So I like it, and that's probably all I need to do with this one, but I'll let it dry and then I'll reassess. All right, so now that that's dry, I do believe this one's done. I like that I added the sticker there. It just adds a nice visual interest, and it let me use the sticker because I didn't know how else I was going to use it, really. You can still open this up where you want to see everything, and then you have this visual on the back. So here's another one done for Dublin. Thanks for watching.